What's up, Commanders fans? Before we dive in, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to Commanders HQ, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. Should Washington go all in and trade for Bengals star Trey Hendrickson? Or is it time to trust the youth? Let's get into it. Here we are, months into the offseason, and one question refuses to go away. Could the Washington Commanders still make a move for Trey Hendrickson? It's not just smoke. There's been real fire around this idea since the end of the 2024 season. The Commanders have clearly been hunting for a premier edge rusher. They passed on drafting one early, even though some fans were clamoring for a big swing. That means a potential trade is still on the table, and Hendrickson, the three-time Pro Bowler with 53 sacks over the last 4 seasons, remains one of the most intriguing names out there. Adam Peters has shown he's not afraid to make bold, aggressive moves, but is this one a step too far? Here's the problem. Washington is light on draft capital. The Laramie Tunsil trade already cost them their 2026 second and fourth round picks. That leaves them with just 5 total picks next year, and probably no interest in dipping into that pot again. So what would it take to get Hendrickson? Well, let's be honest, Cincinnati wants value. A player like Darren Payne might spark interest, but that's a risky ask for Washington, considering how thin they already are at defensive tackle behind him and Jonathan Allen. The most likely cost? A 2026 first-round pick. And let's face it, that's steep, especially with Peters building this roster for the long haul. There's a small chance Washington could sweeten a deal using 2027 picks. But for a Bengals front office trying to maximize Joe Burrow's championship window, they want help now, not later. Here's the twist. According to Diana Rossini, Cincinnati still wants to extend Trey Hendrickson. The player himself? He's said repeatedly that he loves being a Bengal. He just wants to be paid what he's worth. So far, those negotiations haven't broken down, but they also haven't reached the finish line. That leaves just a little wiggle room for teams like Washington to make a late push. But again, this feels like a long shot, unless something breaks down badly between Hendrickson and the Bengals before training camp. So if Hendrickson is likely, staying in Cincinnati, what's next for the Commanders? There are other options. Free agency still holds a few intriguing names. Think Von Miller, a future Hall of Famer who might be looking for one more run on a contending roster. Or Zadarius Smith, a high-motor veteran who could bring pressure off the edge while also mentoring the younger guys. These aren't long-term solutions, but they are bridge players who could help Washington get back to the NFC Championship, and maybe even a little further. But don't forget, Peters has also invested in the future at this position. The front office might prefer to wait until the trade deadline to reassess, or simply roll with the guys already in the building. And that brings us to the other big storyline from this week. While Washington didn't land an edge rusher early, in the 2025 NFL Draft, they did hit a home run at corner. NFL analyst Bucky Brooks called second-round pick Trey Amos the perfect fit for Dan Quinn's defense. And here's why. At 6'1" and nearly 200 pounds, Amos is a physical press-man corner who thrives at the line of scrimmage. His play style is exactly what this scheme needs to shut down quick passes and delay timing routes. That's a big deal, because by disrupting the release, Amos gives the pass rush more time to get home. It's a chain reaction. Better corner play, more time for the front 7 to do their job. Lance Zierlein of NFL.com added that Amos has elite short area quickness and excels in man coverage. Combine that with Marshawn Lattimore on the other side, and suddenly, this Washington secondary has the potential to become elite, even without a superstar edge right now. That's the real story here. Adam Peters and Dan Quinn are playing the long game, but they're also not wasting Jaden Daniels' rookie window. They brought in Deebo Samuel, Laramie Tunsil, Marshawn Lattimore, Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, and drafted smart with players like Josh Connolly Jr., Trey Amos, and Jalen Lane. This is a team that's already built to compete, and could still add at the trade deadline if needed. The Hendrickson dream. Maybe it happens, maybe not. But Washington isn't panicking. They're planning. In an off-season where stars have come and gone, trades have shaken the roster, and rookies have stolen headlines, one name remains constant: Terry McLaurin. He's not just the Commanders' top wide receiver, he's the heartbeat of this franchise. Through regime changes, quarterback carousels, and even a full-on rebrand, McLaurin has been that guy, producing year in and year out with class, leadership, and toughness. He's never complained, never held out, never demanded attention. And yet, his numbers stack up with the league's best. 5 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Multiple quarterbacks, 0 excuses. Terry is everything you want in a WR1. And now, Washington is on the clock to pay him accordingly. Let's be honest, the Commanders have rebuilt this offense from the ground up. It started with drafting Jayden Daniels, the dual-threat Heisman winner, who's now the face of the franchise. Then came Cliff Kingsbury, tasked with building an attack tailored to a young star's strengths. From there, things only got better. Austin Eckler, Zach Ertz, and most notably, Deebo Samuel joined the party, giving Daniels a dynamic group of weapons to grow with. But the foundation, the guy who's always been here through it all, that's Terry McLaurin. And now, it's time for the front office to show him the respect he's earned. Not just with words, but with a deal that matches his value. Terry is entering the final year of the 3-year, $68.4 million contract. He signed back in 2022. That deal, at the time, it felt like a win for both sides. But the wide receiver market has changed dramatically since then. Guys like A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Devonta Smith have pushed the top end of the market into the $30 million-plusest per year range. And McLaurin belongs in that conversation. He may not be the flashiest, but his consistency, durability, and character are unmatched. And let's face it, the longer Washington waits, the more expensive this deal becomes. General Manager Adam Peters isn't hiding from the situation. Back in March, during the lead-up to the draft, Peters told Kay Adams, "Love Terry, and we've had some really good conversations with his representatives. We're going to keep that in-house, but we want to make Terry a Commander for a long time." That's the right tone. Respectful, focused, and aligned with what fans want to hear. But talk only goes so far. At some point, a real number needs to hit the table, and based on current trends, that number could easily be 4 years, $120 million or more. Is it a big investment? Of course. But this is Terry McLaurin we're talking about. Let's be blunt. This is not a situation you want to drag into next offseason. Why? Because the wide receiver market is only going one direction. Uppy. And with so many new weapons in town, Terry might not even lead the team in targets this year, which could make his numbers look less valuable, despite his actual impact being just as vital. Washington has built something special around Jayden Daniels. They've invested in protection with Laramie Tunsil, brought in stars like Deebo, and leaned into Dan Quinn's aggressive physical style. But no unit can function at its best if there's tension around its emotional leader. Get the deal done. Remove the distraction. Send a message to the locker room. If you give everything to this team, you'll be rewarded. Let's put it in perspective. Over the last 5 seasons, McLaurin ranks top 10 in total receiving yards, top 5 in contested catches, top 3 in reliability rating, drops versus targets, and that's with a rotation of QBs that includes Case Keenum, Alex Smith, Taylor Heinicke, Carson Wentz, Sam Howell, and Jacoby Brissett. Imagine what he'll do with a real system and a rising star under center. If Amon-Ra St. Brown is worth $28 million per year, then Terry, with a longer track record and higher floor, is worth at least that much, if not more. Paying McLaurin doesn't just benefit him, it's a signal of stability for Jayden Daniels. The best way to develop a young quarterback is to surround him with consistent, trusted targets. Keeping Terry locked in for the long haul gives Daniels that safety valve, a guy who's always open, always in the right spot, always fighting for extra yards. Let's not forget, rookie QBs lean on veterans, and there's no better role model than Terry. So what do you think, Commanders fans? Should Washington go big for Trey Hendrickson, or trust the plan and wait for the trade deadline, or even the 2026 draft, to land that next big-time edge rusher? Let us know in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the growing Commanders HQ family. We've got new videos coming all off-season long, breaking down every rumor, trade, and locker room insight. Until next time, hail to the Commanders!